I am your host, Sharita Niles, also known as the Business Challenge Assassin. And I am here with my Total ENT family member, Mr. Marvin McQueen.
I'm here. I'm here. Hey, everybody. Listen, I am the host of Motivational Change with Marvin. And I have just came and jumped in the studio, and I'm just going to hijack the show. No, I'm not going to hijack the show. We're gonna we're gonna have something different on today. A great time. We're gonna have great conversation. So I'm excited to be on a tribe called.
Yes, yes. I'm excited for this little tag team. Like, it's not little. Let me stop using that word. This is big.
It's
This
big.
is big because we taking it to a whole nother level. But I love this. I love this. First of all, we family in the radio set.
That's
And
right.
at the same time, I feel like that we family anyway. We met, we have great little, conversations. And this one is about to be just as great as all the others. And
Oh
y'all
yeah.
stay tuned. This might happen a couple more times because
They
this
better
is
know it.
always great
I ain't
dynamic.
never hung with assassins before, so I'm grateful
You know
with
what? Have to
that.
be careful.
This is good.
I'm not an assassin of people. Just just
Well,
just business issues,
they
business
don't they
challenges.
don't need to know all of that. We're not gonna be
Yeah, but
politically correct at all.
right. But I'm from St. Louis, so you'll never know.
Oh, you know what? Yes, everyone, she is totally right. So it has to be business. I totally forgot. I'm down south, and you know what? We can't talk either down south.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. So let's just get to it. So, of course, A Tribe Called is about bringing forth the backstory of the people behind the greatness. So, I'm going to ask a couple questions and then we can just tag team each other. I think that would be
that's what we're gonna
interesting.
do.
Give it a little shake up. All right. So, tell us who Marvin is. Give us the background.
I was about to start quoting a song. He's a complicated man, but the backstory. Wow, that's actually a very good question because Marvin McQueen is. I like to pin it like this, that someone told me he's your life coach.
Mm,
He's your visionary,
okay.
and through those couple of things, it has actually taught Marvin how to do what he does.
Ooh,
So
okay.
through listening to what other people see me as,
Hmm.
therefore, I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna say a chameleon, but I do get a chance to live out the passions and the researches and the desires that I have through it. And so I am a motivational change consultant, which is a fancy name for business coach and life coach. But I do get that opportunity to connect with people to help them write their books,
Mm,
get their story out, um, whatever is going on in their head, we put it on paper.
okay.
Because I just believe that everybody has some type of story. So that's why I love your show. In it, that we get a chance to talk about that background. What
Yeah,
is it that you've been thinking about that you haven't told anyone else? Well, I don't
right,
want to know all your secrets or anything like that, but what is something that you think the world would identify with?
right, right.
What would they want to hear and know about you? And so part of that, I get a chance to do some motivational speaking,
Mhm.
and that's been fun. Um, I'm not the traditional one where I stand and we go from side to side, room to room. I'm probably going to mix some comedy up in there just because I just,
Good, because comedy
kind
is
of feel the
necessary. Yeah,
man. It gets
we
us.
need humor in life, period. We have to have it.
Oh
At least
yeah.
that's what I believe.
No, no, no. We have to. what, the Bible says something about laughter is good medicine, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
laugh. You must
Good.
have something to ease yourself.
Mhm,
And so
mhm.
that's a part of me uh in that instance. So my turn.
Okay, come on with it.
So so tell me, um, first of all, how did you get that name?
Okay,
Business
challenges.
Challenge Assassin.
Okay, there's a great story to this. All right.
Okay.
So, um, in my last W-2 job, when I told God this is going to be the last one, I had the opportunity to go into a business training program. The company I work for, the organization I work for, was sponsoring this program. So somebody had to be there to see what they were doing and bring back the intel, right? So it was
Yeah.
me.
Wow.
So the marketing individual at the time mentioned it to me. I was like, oh, this sounds good. But in the background, I'm like, oh, this would be good for me because I'm really trying to step out full time.
Mhm.
I had only been doing things kind of part time, but she didn't have the opportunity to really attend. I had a job that put me in the community. I was supposed to build relationships. What better place to build relationships than at a business
Yeah.
event? I could connect the dots. I was good at connecting dots. So I go to this program and it was so out of the box. It was so different than any other business training I had ever been to. The first thing they told you is we will not be writing a business plan. And I was like, what?
Oh
Wait
wow.
a minute.
Yeah.
But they were saying, business plans are written for when you are trying to get major funding through a bank, traditional funding, things like that you need strategic plans and you need to know what your business is. And you don't have to wait for that plan to be done to start business. Their goal was within 2 weeks, we would finish this program. You could launch your business within those 2 weeks. And several people did. It was a awesome program.
Whoa.
These people were from the UK too, which was crazy. But we
Wow.
had a good time and it was so hands-on. There was about, I'm going to say it started out with maybe like 200 people. It probably got down to maybe somewhere around like 125, but I'm still connected to some of those people. But the way that the name came up was there was a day that they taught us about standing in your power and the power of like what you know and
Oh wow.
who you are as a business, who you aim to be.
Right, right,
And
right.
they told us to come up with a creative name. And I'm a creative. So coming up with names is like, that's my jam. I was coming up with names for everybody else and couldn't come up with something for
For your
myself.
own self. Yeah.
So I thought about it. And I can't remember what the first one I came up with, but I went home and I was like, I don't like that. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. I walked in the next day and I said, I'm the business challenge assassin. It just like came to me because I
Just
was
rolled
saying,
off.
prior to what I do, what I say now. I say I'm a creative strategist now, but I was like, I solve business challenges for small businesses, which is what I was doing, which
Right.
is still what I do, but I hadn't really linked the whole networking and building relationships thing into it. I was doing all of that. I just didn't know how to articulate it. So when I created that, I was like the business challenge assassin. But when I put it out, so I was working with a marketing person and I had got rid of it. This was probably like 6 months later. I had got rid of it. I stopped using it. I was like, no, I'm not going to be that. I got some feedback from some people that were close to me that was like, oh, because I had a lady, she had an afro. She looked like Pam Grier.
Oh,
She
oh,
had a
okay,
she
okay.
had a gun, and my
Yes,
friend was like, "Oh, you don't want her to have a gun. That's like negative."
oh my goodness.
And then somebody else was like, "She's cute, but she don't look like you. Like you should make her look like you." And I was like, "Give me time, people."
You
So
did- like, give me a minute. Let me get this together first, and then I can understand where I'm
yeah,
headed.
so I got a little bit discouraged, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's not really, the corporate. It doesn't sound professional. I shouldn't do that. I'm a just."
Mm,
So I got rid of it. And I was working with a marketing coach, and she happened to mention something like, you need to come up with a creative name for yourself, something that, and I was like, that's the second time I've heard that. And I was
mhm.
like, actually, I have one, but I got rid of it because I thought professional people not going to want to work with me if I have that name. And she was like, well, what is it? And when I told her, she said, oh, no, honey, you need to bring that back.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm not even a marketing genius, and I'm like, okay, when you say business and assassin and the same thing, so basically we're about to kill this.
Yes, yes,
We're focused in on what we need to
we
do.
are. Yes.
I like that. I do.
So I mean, I had a whole like marketing thing back then with it where I had like these little uh sight things that you have, like when you go to the gun range, and I had
Oh,
all of
nice.
that. I had like everything, but I took the gun part away from it, and then
Okay,
she just has power because I was like, I get that, you don't want to, and especially in the time frame that I created it, that climate, we didn't want
that's
guns to
true.
be a part of it, but
Different
that's how
laws
it
and
came
everything.
about. And now I live in it now. You can't tell me nothing different. I got t-shirts, I got masks,
Is that right? So where they at? I
well, I have them for myself. I am working on getting some because she has a few of her own sayings that I'm putting on t-shirts
mm,
with her that people will be able to purchase later. So it's coming.
count
Trust me.
me in. Count
All
me in.
right. All
So
right. We're
y'all,
gonna put this together.
so everybody, y'all hear that? We're gonna find a way to what's the new word? Merch. We have to get
Yes,
merch
we're gonna have
with
merch.
Sharita and make sure we are supporting her with that. I think as an entrepreneur, we need that unique perspective
Yes.
from the creative side. Like me myself. Yes, I might have some things that are very creative, but
Hmm.
I like connecting with individuals just like you that has the creativity from the start, from that
Yeah.
first appearance creativity. Even when we had our first conversation, I was like, okay, like she's just straight up fun to talk to and be around. I'm like, I don't know if I'm working or I don't know what it is. I just gained a new friend and everything.
Yes.
The
I mean, but
relationship
isn't
piece
that
is
what
huge.
makes work the best when it doesn't feel like work? Like that's what I've been striving for so long is
Wow.
to have something that I loved so much that it didn't feel like I was working. And I feel like I'm in that moment now. I
Mhm.
mean, there are some days,
Oh
there
yeah.
are some points where I'm just like, what am I doing? Or, but when I start to feel like that, I also know I need to go take a break. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. Like you have the ability to say, well, I need a break. So I'm gonna pause this
Yeah.
and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna come back to it. Now I'm getting better at that. I haven't been great at that, but I'm getting
Getting
better.
better. Well, look
And
at
it's
you.
it's what knowing is half the battle. But I've always strived for wanting to have a good time when I'm working, making money and having a good time. Like that's
It
who wouldn't
definitely
want that?
goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I think that's good. So um we have the creative strategist of you.
Hmm.
We have that business challenge assassin.
Hmm.
Your company name.
Yeah, so my company is In Connection Strategies, which is I'm the creator. So it all kind of goes together. I try to keep it linked together. I'm still like, do people really get it? Do they get it?
No, I get it. And
Yeah.
and
So
and
I'm a strategist, as I use strategist as opposed to coach because I think that I just have my
say.
own feelings about the word coach because
Mhm.
I come from a football family. So here's how I view a
Oh
coach.
man, yeah, okay, I'm with you.
The coach throw out the plays. The people do all the work. The coach is on the sideline and he just throw out some more plays. That's not me. I'm a strategist. I'm in there with you. I'm gonna
Yes.
give you the play, and then I'm gonna say, here's the best way to make this play happen. Did you
Wow.
think about this? Let's connect these dots. Like I help people connect the dots. So I don't just give them a book or give them a strategy and then throw them to the wolves. I'm like, I'm with you. Look, when you look to the side, when you run into the for the touchdown, I'm on the other side over there with you, just in case you need somebody to toss the ball to. I'm
That's
over
it.
there. That's how for the people that don't understand football, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
understand
know
football.
they need to start watching television, so I think it's time. No, I
I
love that.
So I love that you have a name too. I was like, okay, he used a different name too.
Yeah.
He gets it. Cause I just don't want to be a coach. And coach has gotten so saturated,
Right.
especially in the online industry and the service provider industry. And no shade to people who are coaches. If you choose to call yourself a coach,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Not
I'm
at
just a
all.
creative person and I don't like to be like everybody else. So I'm a creative strategist.
And that was the reason I went towards the consulting piece because I'm like, okay, maybe you just actually have a question. You know what to do. You just have a simple question
I
of
like that.
should I go to the left this time because last time I
Yeah.
went right, it was a it was heavy on that side, and
Yeah.
I go to the left. What can I do differently? And sometimes all you need is just one switch of something.
Yep.
Not saying that your whole idea is wrong, not saying
Yep.
that you're a horrible person, not saying that you can't think for yourself, but maybe simplify it,
Mm-hmm.
leave it
Mm-hmm.
like it is, kind of let it, as the cooks will say, let it make its own juice. Let it
Yeah.
do what it need
Let
to
it
do.
marinate. Let it
Yeah,
marinate.
man, a little bit. I like that. So, I understood I love in connection strategies. So my company is the Creating Change Group.
Oh, see, creating is in there. I
See,
love it.
creating. So I'm like, okay, look at us. We see y'all. This is why we mashing up today. This is why we
Yep. This is
combining,
one.
talking to each other. You all get to know. Let me. A good point that we can probably tell people is find someone, network with people of the
Mm-hmm.
same mind as you,
Mm-hmm.
but yet different.
But yet different because we're in two different places.
Yes.
We did not know each other at all.
And look
This
at
came by
this.
suggestion,
I
and
know,
then
right?
we did one call, and it was like, "Oh, we got to do this. We
Yeah.
have
Oh yeah.
to."
And we rushed it, y'all. We said, yeah, we talking next week. I'll see you next week. See? If she wasn't up there in India, I'd be like, all right, let me jump on the road and go holler at my girl and make sure she good. And
That's all right. I'm a traveler. Listen, I travel, so
oh, y'all hear that? Travel.
it,
I'm gonna have to
it
let
will
y'all
only
know when
be
I see her.
yeah, it only be a short time before I'm like, so I'm in Florida. What you got going
I'm gonna say take exit 342. No, that's it. That is it.
No,
I,
but
I like
I
that.
love meeting great people. Like you said, like-minded. That's my thing. And I'm always telling people, like, you have to be mindful of who's in your space at the moment. Like, be in the moment because you never know who you might meet and who might be an advantage to you, or you might be an advantage to them. Sometimes it's not about what we're getting from people, it's about what can we give to them, because I am a true believer in reciprocity, and it does not just apply to money.
That's right.
Reciprocity applies to everything. Some people call it karma. I like the word reciprocity because it's a big word and it sounds interesting,
And
and
it
most
sounds
people
it.
don't know.
It does. They be like, how do you spell RESPE? What it?
But it is like I've learned that there was a time when I was like, okay, if I'm doing this, that means it's gonna come back, and I would be expecting that same person to give back what I poured into them. And I had to realize, nope, that's not how it works. It comes full circle. It may be somebody that I don't know at all, that I've never, encountered, that is pouring back into me. So now I'm freely giving it. Like, listen, how can I help you? How can I assist you? How can I, I'm always a give first person. So I don't ever go to somebody. If I need something from them, I'm going to go to them first and say, how can I help? What is it that I can do to
Wow.
assist you? You have an event coming? Well, can I show up? Is there something I can volunteer to do? And that's how I have made the greatest connections, period.
Wow.
And those are people that, like, I can send them something and say, I'm doing this. And they're like, oh, yes. Or like, where are you? What is it that you're doing now? Because they know that I'm always a giver. So getting that is nothing.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That the reciprocity is a huge word. I think the give is a very huge word because somehow, somewhere, you're going to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
It,
You do.
it may not be in the form that you think that you're
Right.
going to get it back, but anytime those opportunities come back to you, or something happens nice or freely, it's a great flow to it. I
Right.
think that builds it up.
Yeah, it
I
definitely does. And hey, it's become easy for me. It's a no-brainer. I'm just like dishing it out as if I'm a millionaire with everything except the money.
Yeah, yeah.
And hey,
You
just
already
wait
are.
for it to feel.
You,
Wait
you
for
you
it.
already in practice before you get it.
Exactly.
Man, I
So
like it.
let's see. What's the next, or you can ask the next question since I asked the first
So
one.
I think I want to flip it a little bit.
Okay.
So the pandemic,
Okay.
the pandemic. So I think now we have a choice whether we want to wear a mask or not, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I won't talk too much about that part.
Mm-hmm.
But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
what did COVID, Omicron, Delta, all of these variants within the pandemic, what did it teach you about yourself and your business?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, the first thing it taught me about myself was to get to know myself. Like, I learned who I really was because I had to spend a lot of time with me
Hmm. Hmm.
and my children.
Yeah, that's a whole that's, that's a whole nother lesson. Look,
But really
that's
getting
doctoral
to
level.
that's when I realized like who I am as a person sincerely, because in the beginning, the first few weeks it was like, oh, I don't mind being away from people. Okay, I have moments when I'm like, I can be by myself, I can come up with something. I got a
Mhm.
whole studio in my house that I paint, and because I'm actually an artist as well. But by week 4 I was losing my mind, and I said,
That's honest.
I do need people. I
Yes.
realize that I need, like, I don't need people that are just my friends, but I recognize that I'm energized by people.
Wow.
So I didn't know that before. I knew that when I got into these, I went to networking events or went to social engagement or whatever, I could do what I do.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much I needed that because I'm pretty social. Like I get out a lot. So that put a shutdown on so much that I
Mhm.
was doing. And I have a really good friend, and I think she realized that too. So we were around one another. Of course, you got to we were kind of in a bubble, but it was like me, her, and another friend. We were just all, because I had porch parties all the time. I was just like, y'all want to come sit on the porch? It's big enough. Like we could be separated.
Six feet apart.
Like
We know everybody
I just
good.
need somebody. Like somebody, please come stand on the
Sitting there,
grass.
sitting there yelling at you. You good down there?
So we did a lot of stuff outside, and it got to the point where me and my friend, we would go to areas and just like walk in where we would see people out. It didn't matter. You have a mask on, you way across the street. It was just good to see someone.
Yeah.
So I learned that, but I also learned, I just learned how to be, I learned how to be a more involved mom of teenagers because I had been such an involved mom when they were young, but when they got around 12, it's like, okay, gave you what you needed. Now I just need to be the overseer. You understand this. But I realized that it took, some mental tolls on my children. Like they wanted to be at school. So we had to figure out ways to, first of all, get along in this house together. And then help them understand like why, I don't know the reason why this is happening, but I know here's what we have to do going forward, or here's what we can do now. Here's what we have control over. And I had to relinquish control. I was a really big control freak. I still am to a fault.
I can't tell.
But
That's good. No.
that taught me to just like hands up, it ain't nothing you can do. You just have
Wow.
to go with the flow and allow it to happen. So I really got I zeroed in on a lot of self-care for myself.
Mhm.
Started doing some yoga things, got more into working out. But I traveled a lot during the pandemic. When everybody else was scared, I was like, well, one thing's for sure, if this is the end, I'm not leaving without seeing some stuff. So
I done fell out the chair, everybody.
I'm a mask up and I'm out.
she she got 2 masks on riding in the car.
Yeah, we up out of here. I was on planes, trains, and automobiles because there wasn't nobody on there. It wasn't nobody on there. And,
Oh my
and the
God.
tickets was cheap. Listen, flights was so cheap. I went, I can't even remember all the places that but I
Because it
went
was
to
cheap.
places. But I'm talking about under $200 flights to great places. My friend would call me like, "Hey, I just saw a flight for it." And I'm like, "All right, we own it. Okay, let's do it." We didn't know
Wow.
where we were gonna stay. It was just like book the flight. We'll figure out the rest.
I
Mhm.
heard I heard the flights were like that, but I didn't
Yeah.
I don't think I traveled anywhere. I think I probably drove about 4 or 5 hours one time, and then I was like, yeah, that's it. I forget it. But wow.
I drove a few places too. I went to Tennessee twice. Went to the exact same place. I went to Gatlinburg 2 times, like 3 weeks apart. Took my kids. I took my son on his first flight during the pandemic.
Wow. Okay, now that's really good.
That was his first time flying. I had never taken them on like a vacation where it was just like, we had been on family vacations when they were young, but here they were teenagers, so they could enjoy it. And I surprised them. I didn't even tell them that we were going on a trip. We went to St.
Oh,
Louis
oh,
for, I don't even remember what we went to St. Louis for, but it was something we had to be there for. And then I was like, y'all should put some extra clothes in your bag. And they were wondering why we didn't drive while we rode with my son. And I was like, so I have something to tell you. And they were like, oh, whenever you say that, it's bad.
oh
Like, but
wow.
this one is good.
Yeah, yeah.
We're taking a flight tomorrow. And they were like, a flight? I was like, yeah, we going to Gatlinburg. Is what we know. So we
I was
water
like,
parked
what is
it up.
that? Wow.
We had a great time. They had I had never been on an 8-day vacation before, but we went 8 days.
8 days.
Yep.
Wow. I,
Had a
I
great
I think that's something to celebrate that you did get a chance to break away from your norm.
Yep, we did.
And
We did.
then
And not even in
yeah,
fear either. I was just like, your
right.
mom
That's what I
don't
was
live in
gonna say.
fear. We don't
Yeah.
live in fear. We just live and hey. And that was my thing. Like if this where it ends, we gonna go out with a bang. That's just how I feel. We were still, making sure we stayed protected and all of that. Cause,
Mhm.
even on vacation, we was pretty much in the room. We went to the water park
Kind of
but
stayed around each other and then
yeah, we stayed with each other, but I was just like, I have to show them something. If I didn't think it was the end, but I was like, since people saying that, I'm just take advantage of these cheap flights and
yeah, I
let's
knew it
let's be
was.
out.
I knew it was. I said, well, I think we'll be all right. I had some other little thoughts about everything, but it was necessary. I know
Hmm.
as for me,
I agree.
I needed the rest at
Yes.
first. And so then I had to like, okay, wait a minute. It forced me to deal with me.
Hmm. Hmm.
The self care thing is pop right on to everybody that got it down packed. But I was like, so what do I do? So I'm doing more exercises and then some walks and things like that. Seeing your neighbors outside. Everybody's doing something different times. I'm talking about 1 o'clock in the morning. We outside. They doing something next door. I'm doing something. I'm like,
Hey.
it was like you can't sleep. So it's like a bunch of men outside, and then we're just like looking at each other and waving. We just,
Mm,
just a different view, something else.
yeah.
I heard someone cutting their grass.
Yeah.
2 o'clock
I,
in the morning. I was like, we have to do something.
you have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just taught me something with this. It's not the end. You gotta if it is the end, I need to still live to the end.
I'm just gonna live. Like that's just how I live my life though. I don't fear a lot of things. Like I'm not saying I don't have fears, but when others get into an uproar, I'm just like, well, okay. I mean, what can we do about it?
Mm,
What I can do about it, I'm gonna do. But if I can't do anything about it, then you still gotta go on. You still gotta continue.
I might as
You
well
still
go on.
gotta live.
Yeah.
And if y'all shooting out cheap flight prices, then I
We're
feel
taking
like
advantage of it. I'm calling you next time. I said I need a cheap flight. I heard
well
I heard
now
the
they
numbers are going up over there.
yeah, they are horrible now. But I was like, we gonna wait till this wave. They trying to recover. I get it.
Mm,
Recover so I can start traveling again. Airlines, thanks.
yeah, yeah. All them strikes that they went on in the first place. So
Yes, yes. So yeah, it's been. The pandemic was a great learning experience for me. I say it all the time where everybody else was in an uproar and they felt like it was the most negative thing. It was like a cleansing for me because
mhm.
it helped me get to know myself. I got connected to my children and a better understanding of that. I got to, just like really dig into this business because I ain't know what else to do with myself when I wasn't traveling or, making sure they was doing e-learning and
Mm,
that drove me crazy. I was like, just to get away from e-learning, I'm gonna go work on myself.
that's
I just didn't
good.
just it was too much. I was like, I don't know how y'all can survive it. I can't survive it. So I hope you got it.
Wow.
Contact the teachers because I can't help. This is too much for me. But yeah, it helped me to, but then there were moments when I was just like, I don't want to. I don't want to look at another business thing. I don't want to talk about business. I don't want to watch another webinar. I don't want to be in another web class. I just don't. And that's how I would be on the porch all the time.
Wow.
I'd take the laptop to the porch. I had music out there. I bought all types of mosquito stuff. I grew plants. Prior to that, I
Look
could
at
not
you
grow
developing
anything.
a green thumb. Look at you.
Prior to that, I could only grow a bamboo. I have plants. I won't say they
Not a
everywhere, but I
bamboo.
have a lot more plant life in my house now. And I'm just like, wow, I grew stuff other than children. The only thing I had ever grown was a kid. Like, I didn't think I could. And now it's addictive. I go to like Lowe's, Home Depot. I'm like, oh, they got succulents. Oh, wait, I think I can grow this
Really?
too. Oh, they have herbs. Okay. Because I'm somewhat of an herbalist. I'm not full fledged, but mostly I use herbs like
Nice.
the medication and things like that. So I grow herbs. I use natural herbs. So I'm just like, I can grow more herbs. That's gonna keep me busy. That keeps you busy.
I see.
Plant
I
is
see.
sometimes like children. So I lost a few along the way.
No, no way. Yeah, yeah.
But we just start over. That's a beautiful thing. You can start over with
Yeah.
plants.
Can't quite do that with the children piece,
No,
but no, that
oh, with the children, no.
wow.
But so I took a little more care with the kids. But
I
yeah,
like that.
with
I
the
like
plants,
that.
I lost a few, and it was like, all right, learning experience. That is not your type of plant to grow. Go back to the things that can handle you forgetting about them. That
Wow.
so that's mainly what I grow.
I like that. I like that. See, I hope you all are learning something a little bit about that. Just, and I asked that question from the standpoint of struggles, letting people know your backstory has a part of the struggles as to
Yeah.
why you are here today. You're
Yes.
here because of your struggles. And so if you did not capitalize on those mistakes, those dreams, those hopes, whatever plan, those struggles, hey, you would not receive a flight, that's less than $200. Little stuff like that.
You
Those are blessings in the middle of it, you know?
and honestly, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
beyond the flights, but in your struggle, you find something great. Like there is something great in every struggle. First of all, nothing comes simply. Nothing great comes simply. If you
Nothing
get it
great.
easy, chances are it's not going to last long. But if you have to, you know, pull, tug, crawl, jump, leap to get to it,
Oh wow, yeah, yeah.
it's going to be something great. It has a magnitude. It's just like going to be overwhelming, but in a good way. Sometimes we just have to, wipe the veil from our eyes to be able to see exactly what it is. I try to think of things even when I'm in a struggle, like, okay, so what is this supposed to teach me? All right, what am I supposed to get out of this? Because it's easy to get mad. It's
Yeah.
easy to get angry. It's easy to get upset. It's easy to complain. But
Mhm.
none of those things have ever gotten me anything great. So I try to and I'm not saying I don't get mad, I don't get angry. I do. And I give myself a little bit of time. And then I'm like, all right, so what can you do about it? My question is always, what can you do about it? If
What
it's
can you
nothing, it's like, all right, well, what else can you do then? In the meantime, while you're waiting for this to pass, what should you be doing? Or is this a sign that you need to be doing something else? Should you be sitting still? Like I know that about myself. If I start to feel ill, I know that it's time for me to sit still because I'm doing too much. Or
Wow.
it's you need some reflection time. So sometimes we have to look at situations from a different perspective. It's easy, if it's easy for you to get angry, then anger is probably not what's supposed to happen in that situation.
Yeah. It's like, all right, you keep using the same card. We're gonna run this test again until you pass this part again. Let's try it again.
And that's what used to aggravate me. I've been through so many struggles. And when I would see myself going through the same ones, I'd be like, why is this still happening?
Yeah.
And I can't pinpoint who said that to me. Of course, I've heard it several times. Well, you go through the same thing until you get it right. And one day I was just like, okay, so now my question is going to be just get it right the first time.
Mhm.
Because I don't like repetitive things like that.
Like, is this right? Is this right? Did I do this right?
I mean, with everything, relationships, with people, like I was just like, I don't want to do this again. How do I not go through this again? So, I mean, sometimes I tried stuff and that wasn't quite right either, but when you have a different perspective of it, going through it another time is like, all right, so last time I did that, I'm not gonna do that. Let's try this over here. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but it was a lesson in all of that each time. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's what life is about, just learning lessons.
See that? Taking the challenges on. Do what you need to do to make
Taking
sure you
on the challenges.
right.
And because every time I go through something, there's a short period and I will meet somebody else that's going through that same thing. And I'm like, let me tell you what I did.
So you are not the only one.
Yeah, I'm not the only one.
There are
It's not
others.
just for me. Like I realize that the stuff I go through is not just for me. Like that's what my show is about. Like you're called to a group of people for a reason. You have something on you that is meant for you to share. Sometimes it might be going through struggles. Sometimes it might be some knowledge that is just a God-given gift. Maybe you didn't have education in it or you have a talent, whatever that is. You're supposed to give it to the world because when you hold it back, you not only hold that back, but you hold back those people.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, hey,
Other people can't get what they need to get fully.
yep,
Yeah,
because you hiding or you scared or you,
wow.
yeah.
I like that. I like that. And
So,
we're back.
and we are back. I had a question for you. What was it? We talk about so much. And see, I talk a lot. So you got to stop me because I will just go on. That's why this is perfect for
Oh,
me. I
you good. Yeah. This is
talk a
hey,
lot.
I'm in a safe space.
You are.
And everybody else is in and you're in motivational change. So I'm telling you, we're matching up. So whoever is following you, they're gonna follow me, and whoever's following me gonna follow you.
Yes, they
So
better.
they
They better.
better, yeah, y'all have no choice. So as you're listening
There's
to it,
no options here. Just do it.
follow Sharita Niles. Right?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, give them something. What social media you
Okay, so
want?
my handles are on Facebook and Instagram. They are at in.connection strategies. I'm not gonna spell that out because last time I messed it up horribly. But the word connection
I
and the word strategy.
let me grab it. Let me make sure I grab it. No, no, let me get
Let's see.
it.
Connection, and then strategies is STRATEGIES. Okay, we got it right. But it's all one word. The first part is IN period. That's on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn at SC Niles. That's probably the easiest way to find me, and it'll pull up me. Or on Instagram, you can also search the Business Challenge Assassin because I'm listed under that as well. So those are, I think that's it. I'm on Twitter, but I have no followers, and I don't think I follow anybody else. I can't keep up with Twitter. That's not my thing, and I am nowhere near the TikTok.
Not yet.
That's not for me.
I've signed up for these things, but
Mhm.
as far as posting, like to the newest stuff, I don't get it. So what I have everyone do, listen, go to my website, Marvin McQueen, number 2.com, marvinmcqueen2.com. On Instagram, Twitter, it's at M McQueen, the number 2.
Okay.
And then Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Marvin McQueen 2. So
Okay.
if you put Marvin McQueen 2 in there, we'll
Yeah, just
find
look
you.
at Marvin McQueen. I forgot I do have a website. Yes, it's
What's your website?
it is www.in-connection-strategies.com.
That's it.
Yes,
So
yes,
y'all listen, go, y'all heard it. IN dash connection dash strategies.com.
yes.
So once you go there, connect with us. We need friends. So we're
We
friends.
do.
Y'all
I am
friends.
always looking for new business buddies. That's what I call them. Hashtag business buddies because I share all my good stuff with my business buddies.
With my
So
buddy.
I have,
My
you tell your
buddy and me.
yeah, you tell your friends the inside stuff, but your associates, you be like, hey, how you doing? So I have a Facebook community which is called a tribe called. And when I get information, I share it. Like this morning, I sent them like 3 grant things. Like, hey, here's some grants. You need to look into this.
See that?
Like I'll just find stuff. Actually, I don't find it. I'm on everybody's newsletter list and email list, and I actually
Yeah.
read that stuff.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
I'm reading through it and I'm like, oh, this could be beneficial to someone else, I shoot it out. But I shoot it out to my community because those are my people.
Yeah.
Because if you put it on Facebook, they might not see it. It just,
At
but
random.
in my group, people actually see it and they use it. Hopefully, I hope y'all using it out there. They better
Y'all
be
better
listening.
use. Yeah. Please use it. Do what you got to do. I'm gonna join it out.
All right, I thought of my question.
You did what you got.
How did you come to the point of helping people write books?
Oh wow. Okay, so I can answer this with ease because um, one of the there was a good friend of mine, Keith. Keith is
Mhm.
his name. I'll mention his name and y'all look him up later. Keith Powell is his name, and he was working on a book, and I was like, "Why are you writing a book?" It's the everybody else kind of has. There are like thousands of people with books, and so he was like,
Right.
"They have books." He said, "But this is my book." 'Cause I think
Mm.
I know some information that other people may not know that may not be at the level everybody's at. That kinda
Mm.
resonated with me. That resonated
Mhm.
with me, and so I was like, "Okay, cool." Let's say, "So, let me write a book." So I started
Mhm.
writing. I wrote my first book, There's a Winner in You, and that book was in conjunction with the job I had at that time,
Okay.
doing the nonprofit work, case management, and then every now and again, we had a chance to teach young men just some life skills.
Mhm.
That's first of all, you're going to be a gentleman. I'll teach you how to tie a tie. We're going to dress up every Thursday. We're just going to
Oh,
do,
good
do
stuff.
gentleman things around the school. And the
Yeah.
school really adopted to that. And I said, okay, let's go to the next thing. So sitting in these meetings,
Mhm.
I'm listening to them take simple stuff and make a whole nonprofit out of it. So I was like, you mean to tell me people gonna give you money
Mhm.
to teach somebody how to brush their teeth?
Yep.
I said, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So let me figure out. So that's I stretched it, went that direction. And I said, if I could do this, I think somebody else would do it. Now at first
Mhm.
I was like, I don't know what to charge people or if do you charge people and all that, but I knew I was learning some things at that level I was at that nobody would ever say.
Right.
Just like you were saying earlier, when you receive information, you spread it. And
Yeah.
I was always thinking that nobody wanted to spread it. I was like, I don't know celebrities like that. I, I just never was that person to look up to a role model as somebody I've never met.
Right.
My role model was the dude in the barbershop that cut everybody hair and everybody
Mhm.
respected him. Those are great role models, the ones that I can see.
Right.
Well, through that, I said, all right, we're gonna get serious about it. And so he taught me the different things that he did through the self-publishing way. And so 2009, I started following it. Then
Mhm.
2010, I wrote my book, and then 2011, I worked with two people that entire year of how to do what to do, and he was teaching me his process. He said, watch me do this, and you go do it. Well,
Wow.
some 12 years later, I'm still doing it, and the business has grown.
Wow.
And I have learned some things from people. I say we do have some very unique, creative people in this world,
Yep.
and their stories are way more. Not in a competition way, but this is very passionate because I see this person every day.
Mhm.
And so since I see this person every day, I would have never known what you have gone through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have never known that you write poems.
Mhm.
Your poetry is like, okay, like is this a rap? Is this a song? But it's things that you do on your own that no one else knew.
Yeah.
And so my motto to myself is everybody has a message that the world needs to hear.
I agree.
And there is an audience for everybody.
There is a That's why these, our shows go well together in the background of it because I feel the same way. Everybody has something
Yeah.
that you have to offer the world. And there's a group of people that's waiting for you to be so they can be like, "Oh, yes.
Hmm.
That's what I've been looking for." Because I've had the opportunity to experience that before. And like you meeting your friend, you said his name is Keith, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you meet Keith, and then you were just like, "Why are you writing a book?" And he was like, "Oh, wait a minute. There's something to this book."
There's something to it. Yeah.
And then meeting other people to have somebody that says to you, "Follow what I do and then go do it." Like, I don't think people understand how priceless that is, especially right now for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because usually it's you want to follow what I do, it's gonna cost you $5,500.
Yeah.
And then you pay that money and you only get the baby steps. And then they say, "Oh, well, if you want the rest of what I do,
Right.
then you can pay me another $10,000." And I'm not no shade to people that do that. I
Yeah.
get it. I'm just a person of outcome. So if I can't, the people that I train or I work with, if I can't see that they have really had some success, I feel like I failed. So
Mm, yeah.
I'm going to, I mean, there are parameters, but I'm going to give you, if I'm telling you that I'm showing you how to meet people online and how to cultivate relationships, we gonna cultivate some relationships together. Like I
Together.
must know that you did it.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
then when I send you off to spread your wings, I know that you're doing it. And that's fine. If you don't come back to me, okay, because that's a spot for somebody else. That's just how I look at it.
And
So
you've done what you're supposed to do for just that time you're supposed to be here.
I, yes, it's not supposed to be a forever
Yeah.
relationship. Like I don't even run my business in that way for it to be forever. Like I do group coaching and it only lasts 6 months. And
Yeah.
then when the 6 months is over, well, I don't like calling it coaching, but I call it group strategy. But when the 6 months is over, we evaluate it. You do an evaluation of what you got from the program, and I evaluate how far you've come. And then we make a decision from there. Do you continue in this program or do you move to the next level? Or what is next for you?
Yeah.
Because also, we can hinder people that way because they get so used to getting your help that they don't spread their wings and fly.
You can hug them till that bear hug becomes suffocation.
That's good.
And we don't need to do that. Oh,
That's good.
we do not need to do that. And it's so funny. I text him all the time when I have a new client sign up with me,
Mhm.
or I've coached someone, or gave him some strategies, different things that I text him and say, "Hey, thank you, man." And he be like, "For
Yes.
what?" I say, "You already know." He said, "No, man." He said, that was just something I learned, and I just it's not too big, but year after year, month after month, I'm grateful for it. I have my different goals and prayers that I want for my
Mhm.
business, but every time it happens, I text them, "Hey, thank you, man."
That that's priceless
Yeah,
because we forget about the people that got us there
yeah,
sometimes. We
yeah.
definitely forget about. So is he still writing or
Oh yeah, still writing. He's
that's
still
good.
writing. He does a lot of the music producing right now.
Okay.
He is currently he is oh Lord, his business, Music Gear Reviews, because he's going to sponsor one of our shows soon. Music
Okay.
Gear Reviews. This is where he takes equipment, music equipment,
Mhm.
and review it for nice big companies, for
Oh,
Mackie, for Pavey, for Simmons. I think he's doing electric drums currently right now. And so
wow.
sometimes he'll say, "Hey, I need to come to your house and use this on your TV." I'm like, "Oh, Lord, okay, yeah, all right, I'll be at the house." So, but he does well with that, and so he's still writing. I'll show him the different clients that he's like, "I would have never thought of that." He said, "Look at you taking it to a new level." I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we trying." I say, "He's paying bills, man."
Hey, what it's about.
Yeah.
It's what it's about. So, outside of business and helping people get their story out there, like what do you do? What does Marvin listen to on the radio?
Oh man, everything.
Heavy.
I think probably this week has been more jazz than anything.
Okay.
So satellite radio has the watercolors station, so I've been
Mhm.
listening to that Jazz has been really good. Every now and again, my ratchet side comes out, and we go ahead and turn up, put some Kendrick Lamar in there, and you know,
What? Let me see Kendrick Lamar.
some. I even go back old school, do a little Lil Wayne sometimes, and
Hmm.
Master P sometimes. I have my kids tripping out. I make them all laugh. They were like, "Oh, here he go." I say, "Man, I'm feeling it." Busta Rhymes just popped in my head. I need to turn it on. And of
Hmm.
course, I get my gospel in there. Definitely get that.
Yes,
I love all types of music,
that's
all
good.
types of music. So,
What about country? You like country music?
me and country is we're in a long distance relationship.
Gotcha.
We
Okay.
do we
Okay.
do
Yeah.
really good. I listen to country music as well, but I have to hear it on something,
Hmm.
and then I go back and say, "Oh man, that song is nice. Who sang it?" And then they'll say, Blake Shelton. So I'm like, "Yeah, he's here. Play 'cause I like that. I like the little run and everything." I said, "He just
Yes.
singing." I said, "I
I
do
like
not know
her.
what he said at first, but I like it."
Yeah, we in a long distance relationship. I think that's a good way to put it because I don't. Now I do have a different. I like new age country, sort of.
Okay,
Like the older twangy country, I can't really get with that. But it tells great stories though.
it
It
does
tells
tell. Yes.
great stories. Like I have friends that listen to it and they'll be like, "Have you heard that one?" And then they'll tell me what it's saying. I'm like, "Is that what that song was
That's
talking
what
about?" And then you go back and you listen to it and
you
you're
like.
like, "Ooh, that's a good story."
Oh yeah.
Okay. But now I'm like you. If I hear it somewhere or like I use Spotify a lot. So
Okay.
if a song comes up in something and I'm like, what is this song? Or my children, because my children are all over the place with music too. So but me, I'm mainly I am lady neo soul and old school R&B. Like that's what you will find me listening to
Definitely neo soul.
80% of the time. And then jazz, I do love jazz, and especially if it's live. Now, when it comes to live music, I will listen to just about anything.
Yeah.
Um, Not really like heavy metal. I'll listen to rock, but I won't
Yeah.
listen to like heavy metal. Um, I've never been to a live music country thing, so I don't know what my tolerance is for that. But
Yeah. Not yet. I think I
yeah,
need to
I'm
put
not
that on my
sure.
little list. I
But
might.
I'm kind of everywhere. And then there's moments when, my trap side come out, but I feel like I don't really listen to trap music. I listen to old school hip hop and rap because
Ah,
what they got now, I don't. I'm just like I don't know what they saying.
yeah. I think the sound effects kind of get me sometimes. I said, did he say skirt? What did he? What?
And then yeah, and then some of the stuff like my 16-year-old, I'm just like, so did he just say? He's like, Mom, please don't make me explain it. And okay, you know what? That's just not for me. Never mind. Never mind. It's not for me. But yes, I've always been a Busta Rhymes fan, and I like Ti, and I listen to like the old Lil Wayne. I'm still in love with Kanye's old stuff.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
However, I did go to his listening party in Chicago, the Donda listening party, which was
Oh,
mind blowing. This is the thing about Kanye. He's a freaking genius. That's
yes,
his
he is.
problem.
Yes, yes.
He
And
is
it's
a
like, all
genius.
right, guy, all right. He went a little bit too far. Okay, wait a minute.
Yes, but when it comes to like here's what he knows. He knows who his people are. He knows marketing. Like he understands that he does some crazy off the wall stuff, but it has never made him lose a dime, and that's what people got to pay attention to.
Oh, like
He
he
don't,
got
he don't lose
um,
money
richer off of that.
because he
Like,
knows who his market is. He knows he can do whatever he wants. He's in that realm with Beyonce. She can do whatever she wants to, and it
yeah,
doesn't matter. People are going to love it just because they love her. I'm trying to be like that one day.
me too. Me
Like,
too.
just love me just cuz.
I think one of the, I'm not cutting you off. Just one of the things that Beyonce did was she dropped that album overnight,
Mhm.
just out the blue.
Mhm.
No marketing, no radio play, nothing. And
And
then
she
she,
lost no money on it. She gained.
I was like, you cannot be. I want to
Yeah.
be like that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I just have to find out what it is that I'm going to drop or bring to,
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
solving business challenges. Might not be that thing, but I'm gonna come up with something because I'm just like, I want to be that person.
Something gonna happen.
I want you to just be like, oh, I saw that on, I don't even know what show I was watching because I really don't watch TV, so I hardly ever pay attention to the
Yeah.
names of shows. But there was like this guy releasing something and everybody was waiting for it to come out, and it was like 3 seconds, and everybody was excited, and they were like, "Yes!" And it was like the dumbest thing ever. I
And
really feel like they was playing on somebody else in the industry, but
that's what it was.
when when I saw it, I was like, "But that's true. That's exactly what we do as humans. We're just like, oh, because it's them, yes." And I'm just like, that was so dumb.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
dumb, but you're gonna pay for it because
Yeah.
that's that person.
Like
I'm
here we
not that.
are paying that 9.99.
Yeah, I'm not that person, but I want to be that person to other people.
Deep down, this is what I really want. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't need the fame. I just want you to buy my stuff because I released it and you've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's some people that have mastered how to do that. Like Childish Gambino. Like I'm still waiting for the next season of Atlanta. And as soon as it come out, I'm going to be that person to be there to watch it. I
Yeah.
am. But
Got to.
because I know it's great.
Yeah. It's a must. It's a must.
So I guess that's it. You got to just release your greatness and then pull it back. Be like, now you can wait on it.
Yeah. Wait. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Yes, I'll be back. Well, unfortunately, I think we have ran up the clock for this
Yeah.
conversation.
We ran it up. We did what we needed to do.
But it's been
Accomplished
great.
2 things.
Yes, we did. We got this
So
dual show going on. I like this. I like this. We
yeah.
really gonna have to talk and do this again because I
Yeah.
think
Part 2 coming
this
soon,
is good.
everybody.
This is good.
Part 2. And we're not just saying part 2. Like we're gonna release it overnight.
Yeah,
Because-
that's what we gonna do. You ain't even gonna know it's
Yeah,
coming. You're not gonna know it's coming. So that means you got to listen to
yeah,
both shows all the
that's right.
time to see when part 2 comes up.
And you
But
get
this
to
has
see
been
us
awesome.
live.
And as always, I want to thank our listeners because without them, we have absolutely nothing. We are just talking to each other. So thank you, everybody who is tuned in to both shows. We are definitely going to do a part 2 and not going to tell you when it's coming up. So just keep listening. Thank you to I'm going to call you my co-host today, my co-host, Mr. Marvin
Yes.
Queen.
Thank
Tell everybody what your show is called and when it will be on.
Motivational Change with Marvin is the name of the show. Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Please check us out. Tell a friend. Tell a friend about us as well.
Yes, tell a friend. And I am with A Tribe Called, which airs on Mondays, 2 Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to listen in.
Yeah.
So y'all go ahead, hype us up. We are out for the day, but thank you so much for listening. Have a great one.